What should be absolutely clear before you invest in new technology? Take 0. All right, so a lot of people are confused about this. So we asked the community, actually end users. We asked community members who were end users towards the end of 2025 their top 3 questions. Like, what are the top 3 questions they want us answered? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I really thought that one of the top questions was going to be, what's the role of artificial intelligence? Like, what should we be doing with AI? And while that was one of the questions they did ask, it was way down the list. There's a lot going on with artificial intelligence that, I don't know, end users aren't necessarily interested in, apparently. And that's a good thing, I think. I mean, you know, the 3 questions were, what mistakes are most companies making right now? And one of the mistakes is that they're trying to use AI to replace people rather than enable them. The second question I answered was, why do so many successful pilots never turn into real results? That was the one I just filmed last week. And now I'm answering number 3, what should be clear before you invest in new technology? Those 3 questions are industry 4 questions. They're not industry 5. And they're good questions. It shows the fluency of the market. All right. And I saved this question for last because it's the most nuanced. All right. And in general, I try not to get too technical in YouTube content because the audience, there are very, very technically fluent people in the audience, but the average viewer is middle of the road in terms of their technical aptitude. All right. So I broke this down into 4 sections. At the end of the day, it is about these 4 pieces. All right. So first and foremost, your overarching digital strategy. If you ask me any question, you know, as it relates to industry 4 or digital transformation or industry 5 or AI or automation, whether you're automating processes or whether you're automating business decisions, and you're asking me a question that in theory, you want me to guide you. All right. I'm always asking the same couple of questions in the very beginning. You know, what's your digital strategy? Like, what's your plan to make data the primary commodity? Like, why are you doing this? Are you doing it because someone says you should be doing it? Are you doing it because you heard it's important at a conference? I mean, what is it you're actually trying to achieve? Number 2, what's the biggest problem that you have right now so that you can use this new initiative to try and solve that problem, right? While you build digital infrastructure. What are you good at? What are you bad at? What's missing? I always go through these same questions, you know, and when this question comes, what should be clear before you invest in new technology? Number 1, the overarching digital strategy. Okay. So you've initiated your IT transition to service first. So if I have a digital strategy and I want to make data a commodity in my business, right? It already is most of the time, but just living in Excel or in people's heads, and it's highly siloed. You can't really unlock the potential of the data until it's in infrastructure. You've got that plan. At least you can articulate it on a whiteboard or something. Like, hey, this is our digital strategy. This is our plan to commoditize data. For example, here's a digital strategy, okay? Without using a 3-sentence statement, let's just whiteboard it. You know, I used the keyboard example last time, and it was kind of funny. A lot of people were like, oh my God, that's dystopian. Like, if they were tracking your keystrokes. And I'm like, okay, you don't think your keystrokes are tracked? Like, you're honestly under the delusion that OEMs aren't tracking your keystrokes. Like, you use a smartphone every day. You don't you don't know that the software is tracking as you're typing. Like, where do you think predictive text comes from? Autocorrection. And there's a disconnect between the reality of technology and our perception of it. So you've got a digital strategy. As a function of that digital strategy, you have initiated the IT transition to service first. You're not going anywhere. So if you want to be clear before you invest in new technology, you're going nowhere, absolutely nowhere, unless the executive leadership in your organization has given a new mandate to the IT group that they're a service organization. Their job is to enable solutions through technology. And security can never be the reason you say no. It is your job to make things secure. Okay, it's IT's job to make things secure. And it's IT's job to make sure that you are compliant with your data governance strategy. It is not IT's jobs to use data governance or security as a reason to say no. There is a fundamental difference between a digital company that says IT is a service organization whose job it is to secure and comply, and IT as a group that is solely focused on security and compliance in spite of enablement. Okay. So you've initiated that. And then number two, once you've initiated that transition, you have a plan for commoditizing data. All right. Number two, you have the strategic problems you want to solve. You can articulate the strategic problems you want to solve. And there's a caveat here, okay? Because I'm gonna bring up a couple of points. Digital transformation is about increasing the collective knowledge of an organization, right, through data, making the organization smarter. So if what we want, if the strategic problems I articulate today are a function of what I know today, and in service of solving those strategic problems, I'm going to get smarter, then it naturally follows that what I want is going to change at the same rate I get smarter, squared. So you have to go into your digital initiative understanding that what you want is going to change at an exponential rate. Okay. That's the caveat. All right. So you can articulate the strategic problems you want to solve. 5 years. Where do I want to be in 5 years? Break that into 5 one-year milestones. Then you take the first 1 year milestone and break that into 2 6-month milestones. And then you take the first 6-month milestone and break that into 6 1-month outcomes, and then focus on the first 1-month outcome. Where do I want to be 1 month from now? Reevaluate. Okay, I can clearly articulate the strategic problems I want to solve. I want a little caveat here around digital strategy, and I'm not going to use the keyboard. I used the keyboard analogy before, and I'll use a different one, something completely unrelated. I'm building a ranch in East Texas. Somebody asked me, "Hey, Howard Walker, how are you going to make money on a ranch? If you've only got 100 and something acres, how are you going to make money?" And the problem I want to solve is in an Industry 4, Industry 5 world, is I want to be able to compete in agriculture and timber in a market where ag has been commoditized, and the margins have shrunk so small that a small mom and pop operation cannot compete if they're just competing on the agriculture and timber side. So the problem I want to solve is I want to be competitive in a market where I'm going to be a little tiny fish. All right. My digital strategy on my ranch is I want to add in revenue streams in my business that will give me a strategic advantage in the market, B, make me more financially viable than I otherwise would be if ag and timber are the only things I'm focused on. Okay. So the revenue streams on my ranch, ag and timber, that's the legacy manufacturer. That's the person who's just converting raw materials into finished goods. If I'm going to try and compete against really large ag operations with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of acres, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands head of cattle, I'm not gonna be able to compete. Okay. Just like manufacturers are, once the patents run out and it becomes a race to the bottom, do it the cheapest, the fastest, let's start playing, let's start working in planned obsolescence, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a race to insolvency. All right. So my digital strategy is I'm going to use technology. I'm going to use digital technology to A, create a revenue stream, and B, guide me on what I should be doing each day, what me and my team should be doing each day. All right. So digital gives me the ability on my ranch to create a whole new revenue stream. So using sensors, I collect data off soil and water and off eventually livestock, weather data. That data is collected off my ranch. It is sent into the cloud, and then it is leased to companies who are interested in it. Okay. It comes off of equipment and it's leased to companies who are interested in it. Okay. And right now, the revenue generated from just the data collection off of 123 acres in East Texas pays all the bills. Okay. That's just the data part. All right. The second piece is when I have access to that data and I can digitize the operation of the ranch, I can then use machine learning, artificial intelligence, and agents to optimize my operational decision making each day, prioritize that which I should be doing, and speed up that which I am doing to execution, to outcome. Okay. Those are strategic problems I want to solve in service of an overarching digital strategy. Okay. That's an example. All right. Number 3, your architecture has got to be defined. Okay. So you must define, before you invest in new technology, you must define the role of the node as producer and consumer. So each smart thing in the business, what is its role as a producer and consumer in the business, from a 10,000 foot view? Number 2, you should have on paper the distribution of ingress points. So if we look at the Purdue security model, L1 through L5, it's actually at L4, but there's an L5 now. There should be ingress points and egress points for data on a common infrastructure. Think node at L1, node at L2, node at L3. Those are hubs. They are connected vertically, and the nodes in L1 are producing and consuming from its ingress egress point. Okay. You should have that on paper, the distribution of those ingress egress points. Some organizations are like, hey, listen, based on these regulations or whatever, ingress egress can only live in the DMZ, right? Or ingress egress in the cloud, which in theory could have access to every single event through role-based and zero trust security architectures. Only this type of data is going to be available at a node from a node in L5, right? Number 3, your total projected producers and consumers. So the theoretical max, what are the total number of producers and consumers of data that I think I'm going to have to meet the 5-year strategy? Okay, get that on paper. Number 4, your total projected throughput. So your theoretical max. Okay, and the best way to do this is to take the highest resolution of data that you want to collect, multiply that by the total number of producers of data, theoretical producers. So I would start with PLCs times total tags. That's a good number. And what you want to do is get that number into transitions per second. I'm looking to handle 10 million data points per second. I am looking to handle 1 million data points per second of the total infrastructure. All right. And then last is your support strategy. So before I'm investing in new technology, you need to put down on paper, here's how I would like to handle support of this infrastructure. Okay. So how much of it do I want to do in-house on a scale of 0 to 100%? How much do I want to do contracted, whether that's contracting through the OEM that supports the technology or a third party? And how much do I want to be hybrid on 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 0 to 100, where it's a combination of, like, for example, level 1 support may be purely external, purely contracted. Level 2 support may be a combination of contracted and in-house. And then level 3 support may be 100% in-house, right? You want to put that on paper from a strategic perspective on that technology, right? And then last but not least, when it comes to digital, okay, you should ask yourself this question: who do I want to own my data? And did I design an architecture that requires edge-driven, report-by-exception, lightweight, and open architecture? Those two questions coupled together, who I want to own the data, and how important is edge-driven, report-by-exception, lightweight, and open, is going to steer you to a select list of technology. Okay? All right. With that, the answer to what should be clear before you invest in new technology: the overarching digital strategy, the strategic problems you want to solve, your architecture, and your support strategy at a minimum at a 10,000 foot level is right there. And hopefully I've allayed the confusion. Like, subscribe, comment down below. We'll see you in the next one.